So just the fitness coach in general, yeah, you got to keep players in shape. You got to keep them in peak form. You got to make sure they're recovering in between training sessions, in between matches. So like I said, it's become a big business now. And yeah, like the fitness coach is just, it's huge. And even now, so that's the professional side of things. If we're looking at the youth side of things, it really becomes about movement, analyzing movement, giving our kids lots of different tools. So looking at movement variability, focusing on their fitness components, looking at physical literacy. So it's almost like becoming a phys ed teacher within a youth environment. So yeah, the role of fitness coach just keeps changing year to year. But, if you would have asked me this question 10 years ago, my answer would have been much different. And like I said, now 10 years, from that point on, it's massive. It's just like, on the other side of it, if you want players who are looking to go forward and looking to get to that next level, it's doing the little things right. And this is something that I experienced, or at least really got a touch of my first year with KW United. So I was working closely with Chris Pozniak, working closely with Mario Holiper. And one word that kept coming up to me over and over again was good habits. And I found out for these guys that, that's something that carries into the pro game is good habits. Which athletes warm up properly, which athletes cool down properly, which athletes actually enter into a gym session and try to execute their strength exercises as best they can. How many of them are looking after nutrition? How many of them are actually doing their activation exercises prior to the warm up, right? So it's all these little things here that, they just want, they want players that have good training habits. And so that to me that's probably the biggest difference I see, is that at the youth level, you're trying to give them the education on the benefits of that and why each of those components are important. And then hopefully by the time they reach that professional level, we've given them enough guidance so that way now they understand how to interact within each of those environments. Right. And so basically understanding, hey, this is why for example, you and myself, we have to, we got to put gas in our car in order to be able to take us from point A to point B. That's our job. That's what our job requires. We need that vehicle in order to be able to take us to all these different places. Whereas you look at a professional athlete, their body is their vehicle. So they need to look after it as well as they can so they can get a lot of mileage, more contracts, more money, the longer they can stay in the game. And I said, that's probably the biggest difference between all of them. The older age group, that's the finished product. The younger age group, really trying to give them that education so that way they can take it and move forward. Just understanding what it takes to get to that next level. You have to be demanding of players. You have to. And so I respect that. It's that, there's that fine art where I can be demanding of players, but at the same time, still make it fun for them. And I think that's what's really amazing about what he brings to the game is that, hey, listen, we're going to train hard, but at the end of the day, everyone always leaves with a smile. Right. And so I think that's what is fantastic about it. It's just, it's awesome. I enjoy being around it. It's you're always there with a smile on your face. It's never being down or angry or anything like that. It's just we're there to do work, and you know what, you have some fun doing it too. And I think what Mario does really well is he's a good teacher. And it's not just about and like I said, it's not just about the results, but it's the technique, it's the execution. It's really trying to understand the game. And for some of these players, they were very talented, but technique-wise, they might have been lacking a little bit. Mentality-wise, they might have been lacking a little bit. Personality-wise, some of them come in with with a big head. And sometimes, it took a little bit of honesty. And I think Mario has a very good way of relating with players that, he can call someone out on it. And and sometimes that's what's needed, a little bit of humbleness, just so that way they can appreciate the process and what it takes to get to that next level and stay at that next level. And so I think for him, like, like I said, for myself, it was just a lot of education and just trying to teach the players not just about the game, but also about, off the field stuff, like how to conduct yourself when you're off the field, when we're away on road trips, how to conduct yourself. You're going to be wearing the shirt. You're going to have the team crest on it. How do you behave in public? What's it like when you're interacting with your coaches? What's it like when you're interacting with fans? Proper nutrition, sleep and recovery. These are things that, some of these things maybe fall underneath my umbrella as a fitness coach. But you know what, though? Mario was very diligent about trying to express that to them as well from a coaching perspective. Like, guys, these are things that we look at. These are things that professionals look at. These are things that, ownerships look at. So you need to conduct yourself as a good player, but also as a good human being as well. And there are many times after training sessions, I would just stick around because I just wanted to hang out and really listen. Because like I said, the passion is there. And you know what, you can always learn something, but just listening to his dialogues with players, and players would ask him questions about the game, questions about life. And so like, I think what's really awesome is that he's had a lot of those experiences himself, and just being able to share that with players is just something they really resonated with. And you know what, even till this day, there's still some that reach out for him for training sessions. There's some that reach out to him wanting to know how he's doing. They'll reach out to me. It's like, hey, have you talked to Mario in a while? How's he doing and stuff? So those are things that I think you can really value. Is that's awesome that they're playing it professionally, but if you can have an impact on them as a human and just make them better human beings, make them better people, you know what, that goes a long way. And I think he does an awesome job at that. I think he's made me a better human being. So yeah, it's fantastic to watch. That in Canada, players don't know how to train, and I think it's more of a mindset than anything. Is that when you come to train, ready to train, like, you got to be ready to execute. You got to be ready to perform. And there can't be no taking days off. I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like doing that. Like, you got to put your best effort forward. So to me, it's just like effort, work hard, be humble, do the little things right. And you know what? Fingers crossed. Hopefully it works out for them.